Are you in need for a new door for your house or garage? The place to buy is Leitner Door of Elkhart. Leitner Door has been in business since 1979, specializing in sales, installation, and service of a variety of doors including overhead doors, electric operators, entry doors, fire doors, and more. Their service techs are trained to repair most makes and models of doors, operators, and hardware. They will help you every step of the way with a professional sales and service staff that will meet your every need. Let Leitner a call at 574-295-6311. Leitner Door. We open all the right doors.
High school sports promote lifelong memories and longtime friends. Publicity in all media, including podcasts like this one, is an important part of encouraging young people to participate in athletics. The Logansport High School class of 1962 is happy to be a part of this podcast, and we wish the best to athletes in every high school sport. Enjoy your time with your coaches and friends. It only happens once in your lifetime.
May Oberfell-Lorber is dedicated to advising you on a broad range of legal matters focused on positive outcomes, finding quick and effective resolutions to your legal disputes, whether it's estate planning, real estate, personal injuries, business transactions, employment issues, or litigation. May Oberfell-Lorber. They're your neighbors, your friends, your local team with offices in Mishawaka and Southwest Michigan with over 150 years experience. May Oberfell-Lorber. Accessible, experienced, versatile. Visit maylorber.com.
Voted the best pizza since 1969 in South Bend is Barnaby's on Jefferson Street. Our South Bend location stands out from all other Barnaby's because our pizza is made with the original recipe and baked in the original ovens. If you want the original Barnaby's taste, you've got to come to South Bend. Since opening in 1969, we've taken pride in the quality of the cheese, sausage, pepperoni, and fresh vegetables that we use on our pizzas. And Barnaby's has been voted best in the area from the South Bend Tribune 3 years straight. Order online at barnabys-pizza.com or call 574-288-4981. Want to taste of Chicago? Well, bring it on down to Digzy Dogz and Grill with locations in Hudson Lake. Make sure to try their Chicago dog and their Italian beef, plus much, much more. Have a sweet tooth? Check out the large selection of ice cream products, including shakes and more. Digzy Dogz is located at 8310 700 North in Hudson Lake and is open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. That's Digzy Dogz and Grill.
Hello, I'm Dr. Karch, and I want to invite you to stop by my office on Cleveland Road in South Bend, just east of Portage Avenue. I've been serving Michiana for over 20 years, specializing in back pain, neck pain, headaches, naturally with gentle chiropractic care. Come see me for a free consultation.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center, when your body needs somebody to help.
Need that lawn of yours mowed, maybe some bushes or hedges trimmed, or even the house or deck power washed? Then look no further than the pros at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care proudly serves Michiana and the surrounding area with great services including mowing, edging, hedge trimming, weed whacking, power washing, and more. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care are the pros to go for all of your lawn and landscaping needs. For a free estimate, call today at 574-222-3586 and ask for Trevor. Remember, at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care, we are cutting grass and taking names. Next Level Performance Academy in Granger, developing highly skilled, adaptable athletes, is not just a slogan but a promise. Next Level Performance Academy empowers high school and youth athletes through disciplined expert performance training and a focus on both physical excellence and mental resilience. Next Level Performance Academy offers batting cages, turf rental with 23-foot ceilings, hit tracks technology for all levels of baseball and softball. To become your best, make sure you check out Next Level Performance Academy to be the best player you can be. For more information, check out their website at nextlevelperformanceacademy.us. G Pools LLC is a family-owned and operated business since 2021. Our passion for pools goes beyond building them and maintaining them. We engage with each one of our clients to ensure that their pool and spa will be a great experience every time they dip into it. From design to pouring to maintenance, we are your authority for your pool and spa. G Pools is your one-stop pools and spa solution. The new Plymouth store is located across from Quick's Bowling Alley and next to Bailey's Furniture with the big red chair. For more information about G Pools, visit their website at gpoolsllc.com or visit them on Facebook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first live 574 Sports Report. I'm your host, Drew Clauder, along with Kenny Peterson and John Overmeyer. We have guests. We have a lot of things happening today, along with the schedule release. We're getting started a little late. We were trying to figure out why it wasn't loading on Facebook. Hopefully, we have that figured out. It'll still be working throughout it, but guys, first live podcast, really excited. What do you guys think of today?
Well, first of all, we need to give a big shout out to the fine folks here at Digzy Dogz and Grill, our sponsor for New Prairie football on our pregame show, who have allowed us to be here, and they're hosting us here this afternoon. We'll have them on here in a little bit, but Digzy Dogz here is kind of a really neat place out down here by the lake. It's a very busy place, especially in the summers on Saturday afternoons, and we're hoping for a big turnout here today. Come on down. They've got great burgers and chicken strips and jalapenos and ice cream and all different kinds of food. So come on down here, and we're going to talk some football also this afternoon. And guys, it's hard to believe we're 13 days away from the first football game already. Where's the summer gone, John?
It's gone. Believe me, it's definitely gone. But yeah, we're all excited about football. A lot of inter-squad scrimmages last night and today. Elkhart County had their media day this morning, had 6 teams over there getting pictures taken, passing out rosters and all that kind of stuff. Next Friday is scrimmage night, believe it or not. And then we're 2 weeks away from opening night. We'll have New Prairie LaPorte for the milk can.
Yes.
Of course. I'm not going to reveal what we're doing yet. We're going to reveal that a little bit later on the podcast. We'll have some other games as well on broadcastsport.net, so you need to stay tuned. We're going to be dropping our schedule a little bit later on the show. And thanks to the fine folks here at Digzy Dogz. Come on down if you're in the area. You're here in Hudson Lake or New Carlisle. Come on down, get some great burgers, fries, and of course, especially hot dogs. And you can meet the broadcast sport crew and the 574 Sports Report crew here today. We'll be glad to talk to you. If you have a question or a comment, you can do that as well as we kind of open up Mr. Overmeyer's farewell tour here at Digzy Dogz today.
Yeah, really exciting, but we have a guest here already, so we'll get that situated. We have New Prairie's head coach, Ryan O'Shea, here, so I'll move out of the way. Kenny will move on my spot, and then we'll get Coach with us, so we'll get that set up.
All right, so we'll have Coach O'Shea come over here in just a minute and have him pop over here. Kenny and I have a discussion about New Prairie football. This will be, of course, a year 2 for Coach. So we'll have him have a seat, have him put on that headset, and hopefully Kenny's ready to go here. Coach, just slap that on there. And, well, where'd the summer go, Coach? That's what I want to know. That's my first question to you. Where'd summer go?
Hey, you and me both. With 4 kids and baseball and getting them all over to camps and things like that, it was a lot. And, and couple that with trying to get this team ready to go for Friday nights here in the fall. It just disappears pretty quick because, summer's fun, and that's what we tell our kids too. It's like it goes quick because it's fun, and that's what it's all about.
You look at where you're at in your second year, and I guess my first question is going to be, what's the biggest difference you've seen from when you took this program over last year to where you're at heading into the LaPorte game in 2 weeks?
Our morale is pretty high right now. We're a pretty confident group, and we made some changes. Obviously, going from year 1 to year 2, I see things a little bit better. Know the kids a lot better. They know me better. They understand our language and our verbiage as far as what we're trying to do, both scheme-wise on offense and defense. And, they're just comfortable. And it's not so like, okay, if I do this, is coach going to get after me? Because they don't know me that well. They know me, and they know what I expect. And we've got some really good leadership right now. And those guys are really stepping up and making sure that, we're being held to a high standard and to a standard that's attainable. So, the difference is there's not as much for me going on, and I can focus on other things and make sure that the little things are cleaned up. And so that's been the biggest difference between year 1 and year 2.
I was just going to ask you that. Obviously, you hear about you always make improvement between game 1 and game 2. A lot of media will ask football coaches, hey, how much improvement do you think you're going to see between week 1 and week 2? This kind of applies to you as well with year 1 to year 2. What have you seen in the offseason and then in the summer workouts heading into fall camp that you might see some improvement from year 1 to year 2?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. It's like you've seen the film, you've seen mistakes. Took a lot of notes and a lot of things that we wanted to change. And in our closing interviews with our coaches and closing interviews with our administrators is like, these things need to change and these things need to get fixed. And for the most part, we've done that. And we're pretty excited about what we can do this season on the field. And harking back to some of my coaches that I rely on with my grandpa and my dad and whatnot. My grandpa always said it takes 3 or 4 years for a program to start rolling with a new coach. And, year one, it wasn't what we wanted. But at the same time, we took those notes. We watched the game film. We're going to make those improvements, and hopefully it pays off here in year 2.
You made some changes in your staff. You brought on some different folks. Let's talk about your coaching staff in particular. One gentleman who's going to be helping out with your running game, I believe.
Yeah, so we can talk about him first. Mike Rowland is his name. He comes over from LaPorte. He played college football at West Alabama. He's been a good asset for our offensive line and our run games. What we're doing improving wise. It's still my offense and what I want to run. And, when at the end of the day, that's what I want to do.
Right.
And he's bought into it 100%. He's a good guy who the kids love playing for him. They see him roll up in the practice, and they're all yelling, "Coach Rowland." It's pretty cool. So he's a good guy. He's been a good asset for us. Defensively, we haven't changed a thing. Coach Bolkowski still run defense for us, and Coach Swingendorf and Coach Whitenack, those guys are, longtime assistants who really know what they're doing. And I trust those guys with all I got. And so they've been a good resource for us. And so none of that's changed. We changed maybe a little bit positions, what we're coaching a little bit, but
Sure.
For the most part, those guys have stayed pretty solid. Having Garrett Curlis on is great. He's a great coach. No matter what he does, like whatever he touches turns into gold. No matter if he's playing wiffle ball or if he's coaching for us. So he's great asset to have. Jake Penner's been on board for a while. And Jake's he's going to be our special teams coordinator this year. Jake's a New Prairie grad, and he loves New Prairie more than probably life itself. And so Jake's a great guy to have around. And so Taylor Adams is going to take over the wide receivers, and I can see our improvement with receivers as far as our technique and what we're doing there. And so, I've coached quarterbacks and coaching the offense. That's remained the same. So it's just tweaks here and there. It's nothing. It's no big giant changes. It's just tweaks and just keep improving every day.
Well, I was going to ask you also one other thing too. Talk about how this year has also given you a chance to possibly reset the entire program from the lower levels on down. How much have you guys made a commitment in getting the lower levels to kind of run what you want them to run so that they're ready for varsity football?
The biggest change we're making this year with our youth is our practices are now at our facility. So right after we are done practicing at the varsity practice field, the youth comes out and they come practice. And it's the greatest thing. Thursday night, I was looking out there. We had over 200 kids out there with flag football, between flag football and minors and majors. Seeing just tons of kids running around was the greatest feeling I've had in football in quite some time. Not the greatest ever.
Right.
State championship kind of goes over that, but that was a great feeling seeing it out there and watching all those kids practice and seeing those coaches and me connecting to those coaches and me being that resource for them.
Sure.
Having 2 kids of my own in the system really helps, and seeing that from the ground level up. And we made those changes, and it's not necessarily like running my stuff. It's just like, hey, this is what we call things. This is how we do things. That way, when they get to middle school, they already know what verbiage we're using. I'm not requiring my guys to run the exact same offense, because running what we run in the varsity and running what youth programs can run are very different things. And so I've learned a lot with the youth program, and we're making those changes and trying to get that youth program up and running a little bit better, day by day. Again, working really closely with those guys who are running it with Casey Fry and Scott Mosier. They've done a really good job. So they've really bought into what my vision is, and luckily it's pretty much the same one as theirs. So they've always wanted to have that connection with the varsity coach, and have it, like I said earlier, having 2 little ones in the program really helps and makes it a lot easier.
Does it give you more? Okay, sorry, John.
I wanted to ask you, talk about quarterbacks. Obviously, you're going to have a new quarterback this year. Everybody knows this. You had, obviously, Reed last year running for what a great athlete he is, what a great young man he is. Obviously going to go play baseball at Northern Illinois. Yep. The fact is that you've got that experience. Decide to be your starter week 1 against LaPorte.
Our week 1 starter is going to be Charlie Luskowski.
Okay.
So we're moving him from receiver to quarterback. That's no secret. Everybody knows, so I'm not that worried about it. Charlie's a great kid. He reminds me a lot of Reed. And then I told Reed this, I don't know how many times, but what I'm more impressed with Reed is his character off the field and who he is off the field. He's a better person than he is a ball player, and that's saying a lot because he's a hell of a ball player. So, having Charlie there, he's really taken over the reins. He's been a really good leader for us. He was voted captain by our guys as a junior. He's been an excellent leader. He's out there every single day. He's the first one in, last one out. He's improved his game so much from when we started back in December, January, when we had those first open workouts, where he has improved immensely because he worked so hard. He's put so much into this game and so much into this offseason and really made himself into a quarterback, transitioning from receiver. He's holding kids accountable. He's holding himself accountable. He is doing everything he can to be the best quarterback he can be for this program.
Obviously, you've got a quarterback, and they always get a lot of the attention. The skill guys get all the attention. Somebody's got to protect your quarterback. Talk a little bit about your offensive line.
Our O-line, we've got some good experience coming back. Tyler Pringer and Lee Atherton coming back are two very good football players, Lee especially. Lee is our heart of this team as well. He's our leader. How he goes, we go. And he's one of those guys that everybody looks up to. All those guys look up to Lee, and they want to be just like him. And because he's a heck of a ball player, but he's also a great kid. And he finishes blocks. He moves well. I can say the same thing about Tyler, but he's just a little bit smaller. He moves really well as well. So, those two guys up front are really going to anchor us and really be good for us. We were adding some more pieces with Eli Whiteman at right tackle. He's going to be a good piece for us. Being a senior, he's really stepping up. So, and some other guys like, Elijah Shuck is stepping up too. He started some games for us last year, had some injuries, but he's been solid for us. And at center, we're going to start Isaac Keller, and he's been in our program for a long time, and he really loves New Prairie, and he's a guy that's going to work really hard for us and everybody involved. So those guys up front are going to be some offensively who we're going to rely on, along with obviously Lucas Halderman at running back. Sorry if I'm jumping the gun on your questions here.
No, that's fine.
Lucas, I'll just continue talking about him. Lucas, we found him about halfway through the year last year, and he ripped off some runs against Adams because we had to throw him in there. He was our fourth string running back going into that game, and we kind of had to throw him in there. And then all of a sudden he took off, and watching him run is a lot of fun. He runs hard. He's physical. He's bumped up from about 155, 160 pounds to now he's 180, 185 now. So he's really taken a leap this summer.
Yeah, that 77-yard run he had against Adams was a thing of beauty.
Oh, the one against Hobart was better.
Yes.
That one was electric. I thought at that point, like, okay, we got a shot. Here we go. And then, somebody had other plans, but that's the way it goes. That's football.
Let's talk about a young man that I had the chance to see at your scrimmage over at New Prairie a few weeks ago when you guys scrimmaged against Portage. A young man who has some potential to be really good right now, and he's learning the ropes of varsity football. In Reyes, talk about he's a young man that's got potential, but again, he's only a freshman.
Right. Caden Reyes is going to be a good football player for us. As far as where he fits exactly right now, we're still trying to figure that out. Being a freshman, it's kind of hard. We're trying to figure out a place for him to be without overstepping and stepping on other people's toes.
Sure.
Being a freshman, but I mean, obviously he's a hell of an athlete, and he's a really good kid, and he's somebody that's going to definitely be the future of New Prairie.
Let's go ahead and talk about things on the defensive side, and that was at times last year an Achilles heel for you guys. Talk about the improvements that you guys have made in the offseason from where you were last year to where you are heading into the game against LaPorte.
We're growing up. I mean, we started 8 sophomores, I think, at one point. We were playing 8 sophomores. We looked on the field, and it's like, man, we're basically playing with a JV team. So
right.
Now those guys are all grown up, and they're juniors. They're getting bigger. Our defensive line has come a long way. They've really matured We got a lot of seniors up front there with our defensive line. I think they're going to be very helpful. Luis Cruz up there was voted all NIC. He's back. He's a really good defensive end, and Levi Keplin's back. We've got some other pieces that are going to help out at nose. And then interior, we have Aiden Buchanan and Ethan Meckling at linebacker, who played for it. Both of them played for us last year. Eli Noakes and Tyler Mitchell at outside linebackers, who also both played for us last year. Mason Sinka is just a sophomore, but he played a lot of snaps for us as a freshman last year at safety. Caleb Gale is another safety who's going to play for us. And then cornerback, we're still kind of figuring some things out, but Ian Oberle is kind of taking over some of that role, but he's, again, just a sophomore. Yes, we're older, but we're still young. And that's the fun, exciting part about it. Is like, we've got some experience, but we're still young.
Obviously, special teams doesn't get a lot of attention either, unless they miss a kick or make a game-winning kick. You know that, Coach. You've been around a long time. And obviously, special teams usually kind of gets put in a little bit later with a lot of coaches. How do you handle your special teams getting ready here for the opener coming up?
We handle things a little bit differently this year. Yeah. We started special teams from day one in June. And so we worked on a different special team every day, every summer. And so special teams-wise, I feel like we're kind of far along the process. And it's one of those things where we've got a good kicker. Noah Refo is going to come over from the soccer team and kick for us. And we're used to those reps already, and we're ready to go. And we're already to the point where we can do 2 special teams in one day. We last year we could only handle one during a 15-minute segment because that's all we could get through trying to explain things, because again, we were so young and trying to teach these kids how to play football. Yesterday we got through 2 in one 15-minute segment, so that was good. Nice. We're already ahead of the game, so I'm excited. Coach Pinner's done a heck of a job. He loves special teams, he loves football, and I feel like we're going to be much improved in that area.
Obviously, you got to look at your schedule. And it's a gauntlet right out of the gate. You got LaPorte for the Milk Can, then you got to go over to Andrews Field, which is not an easy place to play in Napanee, and then you come back home, and Labor Day weekend, you got to play the St. Joe Huskies, who made a run to the semi-state last week, and then obviously the rest of the NIC schedule. As you look at your schedule, how do you see things going for your squad?
We wouldn't have it any other way. I mean,
it really gets you prepared for the 4A tournament, doesn't it?
Yeah, the gauntlet is going to prepare us for our sectional. Our sectional is by far the best 4A sectional in the state.
Yeah.
And you make it out of that, you're going to be battle tested. You're going to be ready to go make a run towards the dome. So we wouldn't have it any other way. Every single week we got to show up, from week 1 to week 9. Doesn't matter who it is on the field. From LaPorte to Washington, from week 1 to week 9, we got to show up every single week. And our kids know that, and they know that there's not a week off, and they know that we've got to strap it up and play. And if you don't, then you're going to be in trouble and be in a dogfight on Friday night.
You look obviously that first game against LaPorte, big game, and you got to experience that last year. As your kids get ready for this one, when you look back at that game from a year ago, as young as you guys were, it's a 1-score game with 8 minutes to go, and you're right there.
Yep.
How much from that, even though you didn't win that game last year, the fact that young of a defense was in the game, and maybe they shouldn't have been in the game at that moment, how much does that confidence carry over into the 21st when you see the Slicers?
Yeah, it's the expectations. Last year, we expected we were going to win, and we expected that we were a little bit shocked being down.
Sure.
I think our kids didn't know how to handle that.
Sure.
And this year we kind of learned and tried to get better every single day. And when we get down, we're not going to quit. We're not going to fold. We're not going to freak out in those moments. And you're right. We were down 1 score with 8 minutes left, and as young as we were, we had so many freshmen out there, or sophomores too. And those kids are growing up, they understand. And, we try not to make the game too big. And that's what I learned from some of the guys that I know that ended up in a national championship game or a Super Bowl. It's, you can't make the game too big. And if you make the game too big, you're going to struggle. Right. And it's going to be one of those things where you got to control what you can control. And all that is on the field. You can't control anything else. And that's what our offseason has been about. It's like, you can't, worry about anything else other than the play on the field, because if you do anything else, then it's going to cost you on Friday night.
Well, Ryan, I know you're busy, obviously getting ready for scrimmage next week, and then obviously the opener against LaPorte. Thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate you stopping out here today.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
Your kids with it. You got your kids out here with you, making a family day as well. And, of course, we'll have every New Prairie game for you with live video. A couple games are going to do audio only because of some school restrictions. But
Northwood is one, and I believe Marion with Marion. It'll be Elkhart.
Elkhart
over
they
there.
They don't allow live videos.
Appreciate you being in Cougar country out here.
Oh, yeah. Well, we
short drive for me.
Well, he was the longtime sports director at the radio station.
Yeah, I was at WCWE for about 11 years as sports director.
Yeah, my grandma grew up just down the street down here. So
there you go. So this is actually
awesome.
home, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, thanks for taking the time. Best of luck to you this season. I'm sure we'll be talking to you down the road.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Ryan O'Shea brings us from New Prairie. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the assistant coach of the Penn Kingsmen, Brian Witt, here on BroadcastSports.net and the 574 Sports Report.
May Oberfell-Lorber is dedicated to advising you on a broad range of legal matters focused on positive outcomes, finding quick and effective resolutions to your legal disputes, whether it's estate planning, real estate, personal injuries, business transactions, employment issues, or litigation. May Oberfell-Lorber. They're your neighbors, your friends, your local team with offices in Mishawaka and Southwest Michigan with over 150 years experience. May Oberfell-Lorber. Accessible, experienced, versatile. Visit maylorber.com.
Voted the best pizza since 1969 in South Bend is Barnaby's on Jefferson Street. Our South Bend location stands out from all other Barnaby's because our pizza is made with the original recipe and baked in the original ovens. If you want the original Barnaby's taste, you've got to come to South Bend. Since opening in 1969, we've taken pride in the quality of the cheese, sausage, pepperoni, and fresh vegetables that we use on our pizzas. And Barnaby's has been voted best in the area from the South Bend Tribune 3 years straight. Order online at barnabys-pizza.com or call 574-288-4981. Want to taste of Chicago? Well, bring it on down to Digzy Dogz and Grill with locations in Hudson Lake. Make sure to try their Chicago dog and their Italian beef, plus much, much more. Have a sweet tooth? Check out the large selection of ice cream products, including shakes and more. Digzy Dogz is located at 8310 700 North in Hudson Lake and is open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. That's Digzy Dogz and Grill.
Back on the 574 Sports Report. You heard from New Prairie head coach. Now we got a Penn coach, and Coach Brian Witten. And Coach, we were talking off air a little bit. You're coming from camp. We talked a little bit. What are you seeing from this team so far?
Well, we returned a good deal of players on offense, and with Landon Hall being back, Buddy Hurley being back, Mason Bernanke being back, we're really leaning on them to be some big time playmakers. And not only that, but with Buddy and Landon being quarterback, wide receiver, really being team leaders and really making sure that senior leadership comes to fruition and really develops as we foresee it happening.
Well, everybody's been talking about your offense, obviously, with those returners, and you did graduate a few people on that side. But we'll come back to that. I want to flip over to the defensive side of the football. Yeah. Obviously, you got some pieces there to replace, but we know how good that wild bunch can be. How's the defense been in camp so far?
Well, we're coming together, and the great thing is that we're going up against good competition day in and day out, and we're competing, and that's the number one thing. We've got to make sure that we compete, get better each day, and keep stacking those days upon one another to live up to that wild bunch name that we all love.
Coach, and I know you talk about some of the guys coming back, and it's hard each and every year losing the senior class. You guys had a really great senior class led by some really good kids. Obviously, everyone knows Vinny Freeman, but was a big one on defense. How have you seen the new seniors, the leadership come from them after seeing such a really good senior class leave them last year? How have they tried taking what they've learned from them and maybe even kind of step up in the leadership aspect with them?
Well, really, this group is, in my eyes, is really leading by example and in doing all the extra work. I mean, I remember back, this is going back many, many years, 1995. Working extra was our tradition. That was one of the slogans for the 1995 team. And I really think that, with all of the work that these guys have really put in, in the weight room, before school, after school, 0 hour. I mean, AJ Needham with the offensive line. We've got Noah Wallace and Mo Al-Jabari, Chance Smith, all these guys that are rising seniors really putting in a whole heck of a lot of work and really leading by example. I think that's the biggest thing, that they're putting in the work. They're doing all of the right things inside of the classroom, outside of the classroom, and really bringing everybody up through their hard work and dedication that they really put forth.
You guys are the NIC champs, and everybody wants to be Penn. They really do. They want to be Penn, and they want to beat Penn.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a bunch of kids that have a great mentality who said, we're up here. What do you try to help these kids with stay up there? There's going to be some challengers this year. St. Joe's going to be good. Adams is much improved. We don't know, and Elkhart's going to be improved. We don't know what everybody else is going to bring to the table quite yet. But what kind of things can you teach your kids to say, okay, we're at the top. How do we stay at the top? Because we want to be at the top being Penn High School.
Well, you can talk about, having all of these goals X, Y, and Z, win conference, all of that stuff. But it really comes back to, looking at the team as a collective whole, that intrinsic motivation, right? We've got to trust the process. We've got to trust the coaches, trust each other, and really build upon all of that and stack the days, right? I mean, our goal isn't right now, because nobody can win a conference championship on August 8th. Nobody can win a state championship on August 8th. But what we can do is get a little bit better than yesterday, improve in our keys and reads, improve in our footwork, improve in everything that we're doing today, and then next practice, do it again. And we need to continue to stack as many of those days as we possibly can, because it's about us. And it's about that intrinsic motivation and things that we need to do to be at our best. It's not really about everybody else. That's what a lot of people from the outside always look at and compare this and that, those types of things. It's really about, we want to be as good as we possibly can be on that given day and get better. If we continue to do those things each day, all the way throughout 100 practices or whatever the deal is with the games and such, we're going to be a heck of a football team come playoff time.
You've had a week of practice, obviously, and you learn a lot about your football team in that first week. What did you learn about your football team going into this final second week of practice before you get to scrimmage Northwood next week?
Well, I really think that we're learning, how well these seniors are leading. Okay. And kind of doubling back down with, leading by example, right? The locker room's clean, right? People are on time doing everything that they're supposed to, and really holding ourselves and holding themselves to the senior standard and holding everybody else to the Penn High School football long black line standard that has been, established ever since Coach Giesman came. And I think that is really developing. And those are things that, not only do we want to see on the football field, but we want to see those things in life as well. Because if we can learn some of those things at the young age of 15, 16, 17, 18, that's going to pay dividends, when they're, 30, 40 years old, fathers, husbands, etc.
My last question for you, and this is more of a X and O's question. Obviously, we talked about last year's seniors, this year's seniors. I want to kind of focus on the juniors and sophomores from this year, because obviously last year they were underclassmen.
Correct.
So they got to see, undefeated regular season. They got to see, Penn work through the playoffs, and then unfortunately just coming up short. What could they have learned to really, especially the now juniors, being sophomores, now they're upperclassmen? Because the transition, it's just, a year older, obviously, but there is a transition from underclassmen to upperclassmen. You want to take more of a responsibility. You want to take more like, okay, I have 2 years left of this. I want to leave my mark on this. What have you seen from them taking everything from last year? Obviously, it's only been a week of practice, but you have your winter workouts. You have your spring, summer workouts. What have you seen from that class and even the sophomore class now that really is like, okay, our seniors are leading, like you said, by example. These sophomores and especially the juniors are taking care of that and wanting to follow that and really excel with that?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that they are accepting coaching. They are accepting, the roles of the senior leaders and really bringing themselves up. The question specifically is, what have they done and what did the previous outgoing senior class lead to them? They showed them how to work.
Okay.
Right? They showed them what it takes. That you need to be in the film room and you need to watch film, and it's not just watching the ball wherever it goes. You need to be reading your keys. You need to be communicating. You need to be not only communicating with that, but you also need to be communicating with your teammates, communicating with your coaches. What do you see? Where are your eyes? All of those things. And I really think the answer to that is, mundane or, as cliche as it is. They showed them how to work, and they're accepting that work, and they're taking that responsibility and exceeding that.
You talk about leadership, and what have you seen specifically from this senior class that, they're coaching, they're kind of like your extension of your coaches. You kind of expect them to do that. What has this senior class done to really get this program to even rise a little bit more than where they are?
Well, I think, a little bit of stoicism, to be honest with you, that they don't seem to be rattled. They don't seem to be phased, right? Okay, big play, bad play, whatever the scenario is, we're not going to let it get to us. We're going to prep just like we have done before. We're going to try to get better this next play, and we're going to try to execute to the best of our ability this next play. And responding to that without being unnerved, without, complaining and those types of things, and really trying to build each other up so that way we can, again, going back to what we said before, stack positive days and learn from our mistakes.
Sure. Let's talk about your schedule. Obviously, it's daunting. You open up at Valparaiso at home, then you got the old backyard brawl, which we know is always going to be a dogfight, and then it's NIC time. Talk a little bit about your schedule and what some of the things you're looking at on your schedule that are going to be some really great opportunities for people to come out and watch the Kings win on Friday night.
Well, we're going to be an exciting football team. Right? Everybody knows Wild Bunch. Everybody knows the Gold Rush, and we're going to live up to those standards because those are our standards. Valpo, Mishawaka, you look at all the teams on our conference, and this is a credit to all of our coaches, around this area in the region. They're all well coached, right? I mean, our coaches in our region too do an outstanding job of preparing each team. So there's going to be some dog fights, and that's what we expect. And that's the fun thing. That's why we play football. That's why we coach football. That makes it exciting. It's going to be a great game against Valpo. It's going to be a great game against Mishawaka. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of fun for the players. It's going to be a whole lot of fun for the fans. And we're looking forward to putting together one heck of a game for our fans.
When you look at your schedule, how much does it prepare you when we get to week 10 and you, or 11, with the 6A's getting buys, obviously, in the first week, how much does that prepare you for a 6A tournament run like you had last year that ended in the regional against Carroll?
Well, it does. I mean, we play quality teams. They're well coached, and, they test us, right? And that's what you want. That's what you would expect, and that's a credit to the other teams as well, that they do an outstanding job. They try to attack us where they feel that we're weak, and it makes us coach. It makes us adapt and adjust, and it makes us be a better football team come playoffs. So that's the exciting thing about the schedule. That's the exciting thing about Mishawaka and Valpo. We've been playing, I think, Valpo since 1997, something along those lines, and we've had some great games, and it's such a great series. And then obviously Mishawaka as well, the community game. It's such a great game for the community. Always a dogfight as well. And it's just fun football to watch.
Well, it certainly is. And then, of course, the final game of the regular season, which we'll have on our sister station, broadcastsport.net, the St. Joe game. And we know, and you obviously have some ties to the head coach there at St. Joe. Ben's come back in, and he's really getting that program going again.
Absolutely. He's doing a nice job. Had a semi-state run last year. They bring back a heck of a lot of players, and that's going to be a fun game. Well, like I said, everybody in our conference, in our league, in our region is really well coached. We got to tip our hats to them. It's going to be a fun game. Looking forward to it.
Everybody obviously is going to see that pen across the jersey every Friday night. And I think does that kind of motivate your kids as well to say, hey, we are Penn. We're proud to be Penn. We have these standards. Coaches expect us to do that. But that opponent on the other side of that line of scrimmage sees that. How does that help motivate your kids to even take that further step?
Well, you put on that jersey, you're a member of the Long Black Line. You're thousands and thousands of players have built Penn's reputation and built the excellence at Penn High School in the classroom, on the football field, in other sports as well. And we've got to take pride, and we do take pride in wearing that Kingsman uniform and being proud that Kingsman is across our chest, and being proud that Penn is across our chest, and be motivated to represent all those that have come before and all of those that will come in the future.
How fun is it to still coach football, even in a different role at Penn?
It's great. It's great. I mean, joking around with my family and friends and all that, I was like, well, what'd you do for your birthday? Like, I was at football practice. I wouldn't want to be anywhere. I wouldn't be anywhere else.
He was, absolutely. Well, it's going to be a fun season. Brian, thanks for making the trip over from St. Joe County.
Absolutely. And Coach Beat obviously sends his best, sends his regards as well. Good. All of the Kingsman family sends his best to you guys.
Well, we appreciate you guys. We wish you the best of luck this season. Of course, we're going to see you a couple of times this year with New Prairie and St. Joe game, and maybe again in the tournament. We appreciate what you are able to do for the Penn community and what you've done for us for many, many years. We appreciate you. We appreciate our relationship. Let's have a great year for the Penn Kingsmen.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
Brian Whitten joins us, the assistant coach at Penn High School. We'll take another break. We'll continue on from Digzy Dogz and Grill here on BroadcastSport.net and the 574 Sports Report.
Want a taste of Chicago? Well, bring it on down to Digzy Dogz and Grill with locations in Hudson Lake. Make sure to try their Chicago dog and their Italian beef, plus much, much more. Have a sweet tooth? Check out the large selection of ice cream products, including shakes and more. Digzy Dogz is located at 8310 700 North in Hudson Lake and is open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. That's Digzy Dogz and Grill.
Hello, I'm Dr. Karch, and I want to invite you to stop by my office on Cleveland Road in South Bend, just east of Portage Avenue. I've been serving Michiana for over 20 years, specializing in back pain, neck pain, headaches, naturally with gentle chiropractic care. Come see me for a free consultation.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center, when your body needs somebody to help.
Need that lawn of yours mowed, maybe some bushes or hedges trimmed, or even the house or deck power washed? Then look no further than the pros at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care proudly serves Michiana and the surrounding area with great services including mowing, hedging, hedge trimming, weed whacking, power washing, and more. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care are the pros to go for all of your lawn and landscaping needs. For a free estimate, call today at 574-222-3586 and ask for Trevor. Remember, at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care, we are cutting grass and taking names. Next Level Performance Academy in Granger, developing highly skilled, adaptable athletes, is not just a slogan but a promise. Next Level Performance Academy empowers high school and youth athletes through disciplined expert performance training and a focus on both physical excellence and mental resilience. Next Level Performance Academy offers batting cages, turf rental with 23-foot ceilings, hit tracks technology for all levels of baseball and softball. To become your best, make sure you check out Next Level Performance Academy to be the best player you can be. For more information, check out their website at nextlevelperformanceacademy.us. G Pools LLC is a family-owned and operated business since 2021. Our passion for pools goes beyond building them and maintaining them. We engage with each one of our clients to ensure that their pool and spa will be a great experience every time they dip into it. From design to pouring to maintenance, we are your authority for your pool and spa. G Pools is your one-stop pools and spa solution. The new Plymouth store is located across from Quick's Bowling Alley and next to Bailey's Furniture with the big red chair. For more information about G Pools, visit their website at gpoolsllc.com or visit them on Facebook.
We're back on the 574 Sports Report. John took a break as I was doing the first part. Kenny was doing the last part. Now it's just me and you, Kenny, and we're going to talk just actual football. Obviously, we had Ryan O'Shea on. We had Brian Whitten on. We will have Troy Hudson on here in a little bit, but I was at Elkhart Media Day today. I was able to talk to Cody Vincent, the head coach of Jimtown. We'll have that interview in a little bit, but it was really interesting to talk to him and really see all these teams come through. And it's kind of interesting to see year by year how it changes, because as I was talking to Cody, he was talking about they have 11 seniors on the team this year. They had a good group come out for Media Day, and that's seniors and letter winners. But each team, Concord had a lot of letter winners, and that's a team that is losing a lot. But going just the NIC, the INSC, and the NLC, the majority of the teams bring a lot back. And I know your instance with New Prairie, they do lose a lot. So to see each and every year that they're able to bring a new senior class, they're able to bring more letter winners, and we talked about it with Brian, just the ability to see the leadership change each and every year, I think, even when I look back at my time, is really something that I never noticed, but now I'm actually noticing.
Well, and it's a credit, too, to the programs that are there because, as people know, Elkhart County football is dynamite. I mean, you go up and down through Elkhart County, and it's hard to find a team that really is just not good. And you look at it this year, I think there's some really good teams that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I'm curious as to what Concord's going to be like. And really, those Elkhart County schools are going to be represented in the NLC because, you know, we've seen that the last several years, Drew, how competitive the NLC really has become. And the question now for some of them is, one, can they continue to challenge the big boys in the NLC for the conference title? And two, can Goshen get things turned around to where they can start becoming a force in the NLC? You know, that's the big question, I think, going into this year. And it'll be interesting to see also how Northwood does in the NLC this year. And, of course, you know, Northridge is going to be there. And as Coach O'Shea was talking about, that 4A sectional is going to include a lot of NLC teams. So not only are they going to beat each other up during the regular season, they're going to beat each other up more than likely in the postseason. So it should be a really interesting year in terms of Elkhart County teams. And you know, you had the chance to see all these teams there, and we've talked a lot about the NLC on your podcast and the NIC on your podcast. And I'm going to throw this to you regarding Jimtown. What's the one thing that you think could make the Jimmies a team to be reckoned with in 2026?
Well, when I talked to Cody earlier today, I asked the question. They had so many close games last year that they just weren't able to pull out. They had the Wawasee game. It was 10-9. They lost opening night. They had the Bremen game. They had John Glenn and Bremen game is actually a really good example. They were up 15-0 at halftime.
Yes.
Then they come out. They have the ball. The first play of the second half, they miss a block and they fumble the ball, and it gets kicked down. Bremen recovers, and then all of a sudden it just kind of spirals. And I asked the exact question of, how do you take last year where they had about 7 seniors that really contributed?
Right.
You take the last year with the 7 seniors, so now the juniors, sophomores, and freshmen last year, a year up. How do you take all of last year? You not only build the program up where you want it,
right,
but you take it and you're able to change it. And he was very frank, and he said, honestly, it's just about execution.
Right.
You know, you have a turnover here, you miss a block in the third quarter, and instead of being in control, right, it's a close game, and then it's just one play here or there that can change the dynamic. So that's where he is really the biggest thing, is just being able to execute each and every play, which obviously sounds really, very simple, but
right,
the execution of 11 players each and every play is really hard to do. And you look at the schedule, Wawasee to start off the bat, have Concord, that's always going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
5A to 2A, 3A. But the interesting part is they travel to Michigan twice, at Edwardsburg and at the Wildjack to end the season. But you get to the conference, you look at what they had last season in conference play. It was a John Glenn game, 1-score game. Bremen game, 1-score game. Knox was not a 1-score game, but that was with Mr. Football, obviously. Right. They don't have that anymore. LaVille was a good game. Tippecanoe was a good game for a half, and then it kind of got away with them. But it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to build this team, because they have a lot of freshmen coming in.
Right.
And so you could be talking a year or two from now, a Jimtown team that's back to where they used to be when I was there.
Well, and you look at their schedule. I mean, and I hate to say this, but good luck finding an easy game on their schedule this year. I mean, You open up with Wawasee, who's a 4A, 5A, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Then you got Concord. And then here's the game that I look at Jimtown's schedule. The game that I think is going to be kind of their trap game is going up to Edwardsburg, because Edwardsburg has built a tremendous program up there in Michigan. They are very, very good. And they get a lot of those kids that are right on the border there between Granger and Edwardsburg that go up there and play football. So there's some kids who actually live in that Granger state line area that go up and play. And Edwardsburg has really taken off as a football program. Then you got to go to Walkerton, and there's a lot of excitement down in Glen with Troy down there. And then you got Bremen Valley, Knox, and LaVille, and then Dowagiac at the end, and Dowagiac's no slouch. So good luck finding a game that's going to be one where you can say, okay, we can take a night off, because there are no games. It's not like what it used to be with Jimtown, where there'd be a couple games sprinkled on the schedule where you knew that Jimtown was going to win regardless. That's not the case anymore.
Well, I think right now that's how Coach Vincent wants it, because he's trying to rebuild the program, and he doesn't want he wants to talk and bring the history of Jimtown back, but he doesn't want the complacency that we're Jimtown, we're able to run trap left better than anybody.
Right.
He wants to build the program to be, okay, each and every game matters, each and every play matters.
Right.
And I think that's what I really took away from our conversation this morning, was he is trying to rebuild the program to the fact of we don't want to just underplay each and every play, because that's when that happens. We lose 10-9 to Wawasee,
right,
when we shouldn't have lost. We lose, I think it was 29-22 against Bremen when we were up 15-0 at halftime.
Right.
When you get the complacency of we're fine, we can beat them just rolling out the ball, that's the biggest thing. And he said that this was his best summer of attendance for the summer workouts and everything. And he's looking really forward to this year because his summer attendance was good. He has kids coming out, and the ability to have a bigger freshman class while still maintaining, hey, we can still do this year. We can win 4, 5, 6 games this year, but allowing him to also still build the freshman class is something. I mean, I had it my senior year in 2015,
right?
But that's kind of where Jimtown has been missing it, where they've either had really good freshman, sophomore classes, but the upper class weren't there,
right?
Or they had the really good upper class, but then you lost the lower class. So it was 2 years of meh, and then you had one good year,
right?
And it's been back and forth. So that's I think what he's really trying to do is rebuild all 4 classes and the middle school,
right,
rather than just focusing on, okay, let's focus on this year.
You know, you and John are going to be doing, obviously, the St. Joe County game of the week, and there's going to be some INSC teams in there. When you look at the INSC this year, Drew, what intrigues you the most about this conference? It just seems like, as a football conference, for a small school football conference, it's as good as any in really northern Indiana, maybe the state of Indiana.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want the full breakdown, I did do the INSC on the 574 Sports Report YouTube page. It is out there. Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It is out there along with the NIC and the NLC. But it's a really interesting conference because you look at what the conference was last year. You had Mr. Football in Knox.
Yep.
You had that Knox team was senior led.
Yeah,
absolutely. They lost 90% of their production. You have Tippecanoe Valley, who lost some things, but brings back their quarterback. You have LaVille, who brings back a lot on offense. They have to figure out defense. That they are truthfully my team to watch in this conference because of what they bring back.
Right.
But then you have teams like John Glenn and Jimtown where they didn't do well last year. I mean, the one conference win for John Glenn was Jimtown.
Right.
So it's what can they build on from last year? And that's kind of the big if part, if you will,
Right.
of this conference is you don't know what they can do from last year, because if you have a defense that really struggles,
Right.
and you bring back a lot of players, how much better can you get that defense?
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what they bring. Bremen is a big question mark, if you will, because they lose their backfield in Wildauer and their running back.
Right.
So I said it on the podcast, and I actually want to get your opinion on it. For Bremen, they lost their quarterback, they lost their running back, but they bring back Moser, who's a sophomore or a junior this year.
Yeah.
What if Bremen just implemented the Knox offense and just had Moser be the quarterback?
It would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but you saw how well it worked for Knox.
Right.
McLaughlin only threw 23 times. He ran the ball 400 times.
Right.
Moser was their big back last year. He just got hurt earlier in the season,
Right.
and so he didn't get as many carries throughout the season. So don't know what Bremen's going to be offensively, but
Right.
if they run that offense, they could be interesting.
And speaking of Knox, don't be so sure that there should be no crying towels given to Russ Radke or anybody down there at Knox, because Russ has implemented his system and they're going to be just fine.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Knox. It's just
people
lost 90% of your offense. I think 87% of your defense.
Right.
You don't know what Knox is this year because they bring back like 7% of their entire team.
Well, everybody knows what Russ runs. It's just you got to try to stop it. And the man's been doing it forever. I saw it here when he was here. I mean, years where I didn't think he had the talent. They were winning 10, 11 games and going deep in the tournament. But he'll have them ready, that's for sure. But I'm looking forward to your games this year, because you guys open up with week 1.
We open up with Cherubusco at Bremen.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll get, when John comes back, we'll get the full schedule release. But that's where we open up week 1, and we are doing some INSC games. We're doing some NIC games, but it is, and Brian Whitten talked about it. It's a credit for their schedule, how hard it is. It's a credit for the coaches in the NIC conference, in the area, in the region. The widespread of good teams.
Yes.
And we can even, break it down to great and excellent teams, but
Right.
good teams overall, I think over the past 5 years has grown in Northern Indiana.
Yeah, it really has.
I think that is a credit to the coaching staff and what they're doing to bring football more north of 465.
Let's put it this way. Keep an eye on St. Joe this year with Ben Downey. I think he's going to have a really dynamite ball club this year. Ben's getting that thing heading in a good direction there. Yeah. And, I think they're going to be one that could be a real sleeper in 4A if people don't take him, don't take him seriously, because he's got a nice group that's coming around there.
They'll have to get through Mishawaka.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is the sectional game and I don't want to take anything away from it's Northridge, it's Northwood,
Prairie, and the South
out of that
schools.
Sectional. Yeah. I don't want to take anything away, but Mishawaka is definitely a heavy favorite in the NLC as well as in that sectional. And then you can't, as you said, you can't shy away from St. Joe with what they've built over the past couple of years under Ben Downey.
Yep, and you will actually be with me when New Prairie plays St. Joe on September the 5th.
Yep, we'll be there. We'll run a 3-man crew because Coach Pat King will be. I think that he'll be out of town. I think that's the day he'll be down in Texas.
Yes,
but we'll combine crews a couple times this year, but it'll definitely be an interesting year to start this podcast.
Yes,
well, restart the podcast. Let me say, because of the widespread football that we have up here, and you can talk about it. Penn is Penn.
Yep.
St. Joe can be sneaky. I think Elkhart can be really sneaky. They bring back so much offensively. They just have to figure out their defensive line. Mm-hmm. Adams is an interesting team.
Yes.
New Prairie is building. They're trying to figure it out. But that's just in the NIC. In the INSC, you have Bremen. They're always going to be good. As I said, LaVille, Tippecanoe Valley can be interesting.
Right.
You look at the NLC, kind of like what you said for Knox. Warsaw plays Bart ball.
Yep.
You know what they're going to do. Stop us.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the thing about Bart ball is that there are so many wrinkles that they throw into that you've got so much to prepare for that it's for some, it's hard to prepare for that offense. And it's like trying to prepare for a service academy in 3 days or 4 days. It's just not possible. You really have to spend a lot of time doing that. And, Bart's done an amazing job down there. I mean, everywhere Bart goes, he's done very, very well. And
then you also have Mishawaka, as we just said.
Yep.
Northwood's rebuilding again. They're looking good again. Northridge is interesting because they bring back a lot under a new head coach that has coached other places before. You look at there are 4 new head coaches in the NLC.
Right.
All 4 of them are coming from the last 4 teams.
Right.
But Northridge is the only team with a coach with head coaching experience.
Right.
And I think that is bigger than people are going to make it out to be.
Absolutely.
And I think that's going to be really interesting. And then you can kind of look elsewhere. Obviously, we're just covering those 3 conferences, but Logansport, as we'll talk to Coach Troy Hudson here soon, they have another really good team coming back. They lose their quarterback, but they'll figure that out. You have other teams in the area that are just, you can go to the region. You have Hobart rebuilding. They're always, I saw your face. They're always a tough out.
Well,
so it's.
No. Well, let me just say this. I mean, you're talking about the region stuff. Think about what the Duneland's going to be like this year, fellas. I mean, how would you like to have the meat grinder of Crown Point, Valpo, Chesterton, Maryville, LaPorte? I mean, that's a meat grinder onto itself week after week after week, and that's a nightmare to begin with, trying to get through that gauntlet.
Yeah, and that's just a lot of really good football up here for sure. And as we talked about, it's a credit to the coaches. We're going to take another quick break. We're going to run a couple commercials. When we come back, hopefully we'll be joined by the head coach of Logansport Berries, Troy Hudson. So stay tuned for that.
Are you in need for a new door for your house or garage? The place to buy is Leitner Door of Elkhart. Leitner Door has been in business since 1979, specializing in sales, installation, and service of a variety of doors including overhead doors, electric operators, entry doors, fire doors, and more. Their service techs are trained to repair most makes and models of doors, operators, and hardware. They will help you every step of the way with a professional sales and service staff that will meet your every need. Like Leitner, a call at 574-295-6311. Like Leitner Door, we open all the right doors.
High school sports promote lifelong memories and longtime friends. Publicity in all media, including podcasts like this one, is an important part of encouraging young people to participate in athletics. The Logansport High School class of 1962 is happy to be a part of this podcast, and we wish the best to athletes in every high school sport. Enjoy your time with your coaches and friends. It only happens once in your lifetime.
May Oberfell-Lorber is dedicated to advising you on a broad range of legal matters focused on positive outcomes, finding quick and effective resolutions to your legal disputes, whether it's estate planning, real estate, personal injuries, business transactions, employment issues, or litigation. May Oberfell-Lorber. They're your neighbors, your friends, your local team with offices in Mishawaka and Southwest Michigan with over 150 years experience. May Oberfell-Lorber. Accessible, experienced, versatile. Visit maylorber.com.
Voted the best pizza since 1969 in South Bend is Barnaby's on Jefferson Street. Our South Bend location stands out from all other Barnaby's because our pizza is made with the original recipe and baked in the original ovens. If you want the original Barnaby's taste, you've got to come to South Bend. Since opening in 1969, we've taken pride in the quality of the cheese, sausage, pepperoni, and fresh vegetables that we use on our pizzas. And Barnaby's has been voted best in the area from the South Bend Tribune 3 years straight. Order online at barnabys-pizza.com or call 574-288-4981.
And welcome back to the 574 Sports Report here at Digzy Dogz in beautiful New Carlisle. A great day to promote high school football, and pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Logansport Berries, Troy Hudson. And Coach, always good to hear from you. We had a couple of snafus, so we couldn't get you on our video stream today, but we got you on the phone. How things been going for you?
I got a better radio voice anyways, probably than an actual face for,
I don't know about that.
anything.
Yeah. How things been going for you, though?
Hey, we're doing all right here. We're getting excited here. Football's right around the corner. Opening games right around the corner for us anyways. We got a red and black scrimmage tonight. Gonna help get us a little prepared for our Friday night scrimmage next week, and boys are excited to go, and we've had a great winter and spring and summer, and I know we're excited about what we got coming back this year.
Yeah, you really have a lot of returners. I want to start on the offensive side of the football. Obviously, you've got to replace three-year starter in Bryson Herr at quarterback, but that's always something that it's always fun to have a little competition in fall camp. And then, of course, you've got a lot of your skill players back and some guys on the line. Tell us about how the offense is returning and how things are working as you've gone through 1 week of practice.
Yeah, it's never easy when you lose your three-year starting quarterback in Bryson Herr. So we've had to have a little competition, no question about that. We've had a sophomore in Zach Peterson and a junior in Cooper Jones, who have been kind of leading the way with us. And right now it's our junior Cooper Jones, baseball kid, played split in for us last year. Can sling the ball pretty well for us and athletic as well. And so right now he's kind of leading the competition, but we still got a couple weeks here to figure things out. And offensive line wise, we got a couple spots on our right side that we're working through here. The good news is we got kids that can do it, just figuring out who those kids are.
Let's flip it over to the defensive side of the football. Tell us how the defense, what you got returning, and how the defensive practice has gone through for the first week.
Yeah, defense, for the most part, we lose two starters, Allstate, Lauren Taylor, and one of our corners, and Nickerson Hippolyte. Both very good players for us, so not easy to replace. But we do have depth, and we had depth last year. And so we've got a senior in Hudson Shank who will come in at cornerback, who's done a great job in over this whole offseason. And then a defensive end, we've got a kid, a sophomore, Caleb Jones, big physical kid, worked really hard this offseason to get strong, get ready for varsity football, and I do think he's ready. So we got some depth there at the D-line at that position as well. But other than that, we've returned 9 on that side of the ball, and we return about 7 to 8 there on the offensive side of the ball. And most of our skill guys on both sides of the ball are back. So it should be a good year for us, but you never know until you start playing the games.
Obviously you do. We'll talk about the schedule here in just a couple minutes, but I want to ask you about numbers. We've heard throughout the state, we've got a train that goes by here at Digzy Dogz. It's the South Shore line that goes from here to Chicago, so you're going to hear the train here for a second.
No problem.
Yeah, it's all part of it, man. You like to have a train. They're going up Cheapskate Hill, too. I think they're in Logansport. That'd be all right. Try to give you a little extra revenue for the football team.
That's right.
I want to ask you about numbers. Obviously, we've seen Elwood may not even have a team this year. They're very low on numbers. Wabash has been low on numbers. We've seen some of that. Obviously, with your program, when I'm told your numbers are actually up this year, why do you think that is, and why do you think some of these other schools are kind of struggling with numbers? Are there a number of reasons for that?
Well, John, I think winning always helps. I mean, in a culture and establishment that you've had, and Mike did a great job here before I took over and building that culture. And I've obviously had my own culture, my own things that I want to do, but just making your face known. I'm lucky enough to be able to supervise down in the lunchroom, so that's a good opportunity for me to do some recruiting and talk to kids and try to get them out. And especially if a kid that looks like he can play ball a little bit, try to get him out, because you can never have enough people on the football team. And I think that's a big piece of it, is just trying to build those relationships with those kids, and those kids know that they feel like they have a trust with you, and they want to play for you. And I think word gets around with that, and so I think that's how you establish that, and more kids get word of it, and they just keep coming out. So, but we got a good freshman group, really good freshman group coming in. We're about 20 kids from a freshman standpoint, and so we've been able to structure practice a little bit differently this year than we have in the past, with our JV and varsity more split, so that way they're not having to jump in with any of our varsity kids. They're doing their own thing at the other end, and our coaches are split a little bit, which is a little bit different for us. But at the same time, we're developing those young kids and getting them ready for varsity.
And you've had a week of camp now, obviously. Now you're getting ready. You have the black and red scrimmage tonight, which is always a great family night and a great time to see the kids. Obviously, in a scrimmage situation, you got another full week of practice, and then, of course, the scrimmage next Friday. Then you have the opener against Peru. What kind of improvements have you seen from your team with 1 week completed in the book?
Yeah, just cleaning those little bitty detailed things up is, you have your summer practices, but you don't get the guys every single day like you want them. We went 3 times a week with practices and weights, and you miss some stuff here or there. Kids got things going on, so now's the time you get them all here, and you can kind of fine tune some of those detailed things that you needed to work on a little bit more, maybe over the summer, that you didn't quite get to every single day just because of the inconsistency of some of the kids. But for the most part, we had a great summer workout with our boys. I mean, we were getting almost about 55, 60 kids there consistently, which is up from last year. It's up tremendously last year. So we're pretty prepared coming in. When it was August 3rd, I felt like we just had to fine tune some little details.
I want to ask you about this NIL situation. I know that, now that the IHSAA has decided to allow kids to do name, image, and likeness, I know they can't really do that with their school. What is your view on that for these kids? Because now this is obviously trickling down all the way from the college ranks down here to our high school ranks.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's some pros and cons to both. I guess if a kid can make some money, as a 16, 18-year-old kid, I guess good for him. I don't think anybody should try to hold him back from any of that. But also, sometimes that can sometimes affect the program in some ways too, as well, and just kind of the environment with that. But we haven't really had to deal with any of that yet. I do have a kid that just signed with Wake Forest, and RJ Clem.
Right.
Now that's a little bit different from an NIL standpoint, from a college standpoint, but he's got such a good head on his shoulders that for him, even if he was get some offerings or some endorsements down here at the high school level, I think he'd be smart with it, because I already know he's a smart kid. But it could present some challenges, in the future as this progresses. No question about it. I think as we continue on with some of this stuff, I think different challenges will definitely present itself.
Let's get back to your team a little bit here. We've talked about the offense, we've talked about the defense, and a lot of teams don't talk about their special teams very much. How does your special teams looking, obviously from the kicking game as well as the punt game?
Yeah, that is something that we work on consistently as our special teams. We build it in, and I think I went through, just kind of evaluated ourselves and like where we're putting all of our time throughout the whole throughout our practices and everything. And so we dedicate about almost 25-30 minutes a day for special teams. I don't think every team does that, but we think that's an important piece to us, especially I think there's some units that maybe be a little bit more important than the other. So I think for us it can be a big piece of ours, because it kept us in some games last year, got us back in some games as well. So if you can pop a kick or block a kick, that's a big momentum changer in a game. And I would guess if you probably would look at some of the analytics from that, if you're able to return a kick or block a kick, I'm guessing you probably win more than you lose.
I would think so. I think that the analysts would tell you that. I want to ask you about Elliot Baldini. Obviously, he is a cog in your running game. Got banged up towards the end of last year, obviously had some ankle issues. How has he come back from that, and how has he looked in practice so far?
Yeah, Elliot last year, he just went through a lot, not only with the ankle issues, but he was dealing with the sickness at the beginning of the year that they got taken care of, just something that kind of something that was happening at home that they didn't know was in the house, and they got that all taken care of. And then he had the ankle issue. But Elliot has been working extremely hard in the off season, to get his weight up. I mean, you see him, he doesn't even look like a running back. I mean, he looks almost like a big inside linebacker at the college level. But he's got good quickness, he's got good strength. He's a smart kid. He ran for over 1,500 yards last year with all those issues. And so I think this year, he's going to have just as good a year. He's going to be on the defensive side as well a little bit, playing some outside linebacker. The luxury we have is two pretty two pretty good fullbacks. We have a sophomore and freshman. Well, he was a freshman last year in Carson Jackson, but he's ready to take off as well. So those two be able to give each other a little bit of a break.
Should be great to watch. I want to talk about your schedule. Obviously, the first 2 weeks, you've got the annual battle for the Baldini Trophy against Peru, the longest rivalry in the state of Indiana when it comes to high school football. Then you get right back on the bus week 2. You head up here to South Bend to take on the Adams Eagles at School Field. Talk about those 2 games and talk about the rest of your games in your conference.
Yeah, Peru's pretty special to me. I graduated from Peru, so I'm a Peru Tiger alum.
And they let you come into Logansport, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So it's always kind of special to be able to play in that game. I was a player in that game for 4 years, and then I actually coached at Peru for 3 years under Bob Prescott. So I got to be in part of the coaching, and then I came over here to Logansport about 9 years later and started coaching against Peru. So it's pretty special. It's a neat rival. I think it's kind of grown over the years, and when you're kind of in the middle of it, maybe there as a player, you don't realize how big it is. And then as it's kind of progressed here over the years, it's become such a bigger rival for the kids, and it's pretty cool for the trophy that we play for as well with Baldini. And then we got South Bend Adams, who I don't think they lose a lot. I think they're definitely going to be a better team this year. And they're big and physical, and they had a good back. I thought their quarterback was young, and he was just a little inexperienced, but I expect him to be back. And so, and it's on the road. Never an easy thing to do. Go up, travel about an hour and a half, and try to get a win. So, we got our challenges. Our first 2 games are on the road. So it's never easy to come out of the gate and play 2 on the road and try to come away with 2 wins. But it's just getting that mindset right and be a good experience for the boys early on.
Let's talk a little bit about your conference schedule as well. A conference, I think, that helps you prepare for the 4A tournament, especially since you're in a new sectional this year.
Yeah, not an easy sectional either.
No.
Definitely got a little harder. You had in Yorktown, you had in Kokomo, who I think will be improved. We scrimmaged them this summer. And then you had in, obviously, Bishop Luers, who just a powerhouse year in, year out, and I know they return a lot up there. So definitely the sectional is definitely going to be tougher. Conference-wise, yeah, we've got a good conference. I know a lot of the teams return a lot of kids, so it's going to be, the conference is definitely going to be up this year. Twin Lakes, I look at Twin Lakes as definitely a contender for a conference championship. They've got obviously a great coach in Kevin O'Shea, but they will be high-powered, and they will be slinging the ball all around the yard. In West Lafayette, every single year, they're with Coach Fry, they're going to be tough. They're coached well. And then Hamilton Heights got a new coach, and Coach Small, who came from Kokomo, who will also be throwing the ball around. And we've scrimmaged him the last couple of years, so he's got a good scheme, a good system, and he'll run a really good program there, Hamilton Heights. We had in Tipton. I'm not for sure. I don't know much about Tipton. We didn't play them last year. And then Western graduated a lot, but with Kobe and their offense, it's just hard no matter what they have going on or who they have coming back. They'll have kids that don't run their system right, and they'll be extremely well coached as well. So not an easy. We're 4A and a 3A conference, and a mainly 3A conference, but it's a good 3A conference. And I tell people say all the time, you're like, how does that differentiate from your old conference? I said, well, I think from my perspective on it is it's more balanced. You don't have any top end teams or lower end teams. I just feel like you have a lot of really good football teams that you have to prepare for on a weekly basis.
Well, you really do. And when you play that kind of a schedule that you're playing, you would think that would get you ready for a 4A. What are some of the things you want your fans to know about when they come out to the field? We like to affectionately call it the Berry Patch. I know it's not as Parkview Memorial Stadium, but what do you want us to have the Logansport fans see when they come out and watch you guys on Friday night there in Logansport?
Yeah, I think our boys, you're going to see, and this is Logansport football at its finest. It's just a tough team. We're not always the biggest team, and we're 4A. That you see is compared against some of these 3A schools. Usually these 3A schools are bigger than us. Heck, some of the 2A schools that we've played in the past are just a little bit monstrous than us. And so we're not a big we don't have big kids. We just have kids that play tough. We have kids that play hard, and just don't give up. That's kind of our motto here is, it don't matter what the scoreboard says. We're going to keep playing all the way to the end, and hopefully at the end, we come away with the win.
And obviously you got great fan support there in Logansport. We've seen that on Friday nights. You got the Nap shooting fireworks off across the street. You got all those people parked on Cheapskate Hill to watch the game. And obviously it's an environment. When you go to a Logansport football game on Friday night, it is an environment. And when you have a good team like you do, that just seems to increase the support and the environment on Friday night.
Yeah, no question about it. We're in a, Logansport's a little different when it comes to a lot of different areas, demographics-wise. We are completely different than a lot of schools in our area, and especially within our conference. So, we've got a lot of kids that sometimes come in and they've never even heard of football, and then they get the opportunity to come to a game, or some of them say, "Hey, coach, I'd like to come out and give it a shot." They come out and get the opportunity to play and under those lights. And then just our fans and our community and everybody coming together. It's the hub. It's the hub of Logansport, especially on a Friday night. So yeah, definitely get out here and watch us, man. I think we have a good team, and hopefully we can have a good year.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. We will see you obviously week 2 up here at South Bend Adams. We wish you the best. Have a great time tonight with that black and red scrimmage. I know that's always a big deal for the community. Their first look at the Logansport Berries, and of course, obviously week 1 against Peru, and then we'll see you up here in South Bend on week 2 against the Adams Eagles. We wish you the best of luck. We'll be following your boys all year long, and obviously we appreciate all of your time, Troy, and of course we wish you the best of luck, and we hope to see you real soon.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate you having me and supporting our team.
Hang on just a second. I want to talk to you off the air, but that's Troy Hudson, the head coach of the Logansport Berries, joining us here on the 574 Sports Report. We'll be back after this short timeout.
Are you in need for a new door for your house garage? The place to buy is Leitner Door of Elkhart. Leitner Door has been in business since 1979, specializing in sales, installation, and service of a variety of doors, including overhead doors, electric operators, entry doors, fire doors, and more. Their service techs are trained to repair most makes and models of doors, operators, and hardware. They will help you every step of the way with a professional sales and service staff that will meet your every need. Let Leitner a call at 574-295-6311. Leitner Door. We open all the right doors.
G Pools LLC is a family-owned and operated business since 2021. Our passion for pools goes beyond building them and maintaining them. We engage with each one of our clients to ensure that their pool and spa will be a great experience every time they dip into it. From design to pouring to maintenance, we are your authority for your pool and spa. G Pools is your one-stop pools and spa solution. The new Plymouth store is located across from Quick's Bowling Alley and next to Bailey's Furniture with the big red chair. For more information about G Pools, visit their website at gpoolsllc.com or visit them on Facebook. Need that lawn of yours mowed, maybe some bushes or hedges trimmed, or even the house or deck power washed? Then look no further than the pros at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care proudly serves Michiana and the surrounding area with great services including mowing, hedging, hedge trimming, weed whacking, power washing, and more. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care are the pros to go for all of your lawn and landscaping needs. For a free estimate, call today at 574-222-3586 and ask for Trevor. Remember, at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care, we are cutting grass and taking names. Next Level Performance Academy in Granger, developing highly skilled, adaptable athletes, is not just a slogan but a promise. Next Level Performance Academy empowers high school and youth athletes through disciplined expert performance training and a focus on both physical excellence and mental resilience. Next Level Performance Academy offers batting cages, turf rental with 23-foot ceilings, hit tracks technology for all levels of baseball and softball. To become your best, make sure you check out Next Level Performance Academy to be the best player you can be. For more information, check out their website at nextlevelperformanceacademy.us.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Hello, I'm Dr. Karch, and I want to invite you to stop by my office on Cleveland Road in South Bend, just east of Portage Avenue. I've been serving Michiana for over 20 years, specializing in back pain, neck pain, headaches, naturally with gentle chiropractic care. Come see me for a free consultation.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Want to taste of Chicago? Well, bring it on down to Digzy Dogz and Grill with locations in Hudson Lake. Make sure to try their Chicago dog and their Italian beef, plus much, much more. Have a sweet tooth? Check out the large selection of ice cream products, including shakes and more. Digzy Dogz is located at 8310 700 North in Hudson Lake and is open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. That's Digzy Dogz and Grill.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Hello, I'm Dr. Karch, and I want to invite you to stop by my office on Cleveland Road in South Bend, just east of Portage Avenue. I've been serving Michiana for over 20 years, specializing in back pain, neck pain, headaches, naturally with gentle chiropractic care. Come see me for a free consultation.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Voted the best pizza since 1969 in South Bend is Barnaby's on Jefferson Street. Our South Bend location stands out from all other Barnaby's because our pizza is made with the original recipe and baked in the original ovens. If you want the original Barnaby's taste, you've got to come to South Bend. Since opening in 1969, we've taken pride in the quality of the cheese, sausage, pepperoni, and fresh vegetables that we use on our pizzas. And Barnaby's has been voted best in the area from the South Bend Tribune 3 years straight. Order online at barnabys-pizza.com or call 574-288-4981.
High school sports promote lifelong memories and longtime friends. Publicity in all media, including podcasts like this one, is an important part of encouraging young people to participate in athletics. The Logansport High School class of 1962 is happy to be a part of this podcast, and we wish the best to athletes in every high school sport. Enjoy your time with your coaches and friends. It only happens once in your lifetime.
Back on the 574 Sports Report, we're here with Jimtown head coach Cody Vincent. Coach, tough year last year, a lot of close games. How have you seen your team progress from winter workouts through the spring into summer and then now being fall camp?
We had a team meeting last November, and after the season had ended, and we were pretty clear with them that if they wanted to change the results from last season, then it was going to take a lot of work, and they understand that. And obviously here we have a lot of multi-sport athletes, so in the winter and the spring we don't get a ton of dedicated football time, which is great. We want them playing other sports, but once we got them all together this summer, it has been incredible. I think we're closer together as a team. We are more disciplined and accountable and focusing on little things every day, which will lead to being able to finish opponents and finish games this fall.
You talk about finishing games. Last year was a tough year, but you had a lot of close losses. The Wawasee game, Bremen, John Glenn, 2 games that I covered. What can you do, talk about with your kids in the summer going into fall camp that can not only make it closer but change the losses to wins?
Again, it goes down to little things like minimizing mistakes and turnovers and pre-snap penalties early in the games, so it's not close in the fourth quarter. Because ultimately, whatever, if it's a turnover that leads to a loss or whatever, there's things that we could have done before that to keep us out of that position in the fourth quarter. Honestly, this is a new team. I'm not worried at this point about being able to finish games. I just feel like overall we were stricken with a lot of bad luck last year. And at this point, I love where we're at from a mentality, their attitudes. They are hungry, and they're ready to get back out and change the perception of us.
Coach, thank you for your time. Can't wait to see you and your kids play on Friday night.
Thank you.
We'll be right back at 574 Sports Report. That was my interview earlier with the head coach of the Jimtown Jimmies, Cody Vincent, and me and Kenny already talked about it a little bit. And John, I'll bring you into the fold now. We did 2 Jimtown games. We saw the John Glenn and Bremen games. Jimtown was in each game. In the Bremen game, they were up 15-0 at halftime. Just little mistakes throughout the game made it a close game, and they just couldn't figure it out at the end. And as you heard Coach Vincent say, it's just one of those things they want to work on execution, figure out what they can do through the first 3 quarters so it's not a close game in the fourth.
Yeah, obviously, they had a lot of chances last year, and when you got into the fourth quarter, that didn't work quite well. So hopefully they will get some things corrected there on the banks of Vago, and maybe we'll see Jimtown have a little more success.
Bring in a special guest now, and I'm going to let Kenny take the lead on this.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this lady and her husband here, they've started this business here in Hudson Lake, and it has really become, I think, the premier business in the Hudson Lake area. And just by the crowd that's come down here today, it really shows how popular the Digzy Dogz is. And they're a proud sponsor of our pregame show on Friday nights on New Prairie Football and BroadcastSport.net. And we got Jen Hayes in here. Jen, first of all, thank you for letting us set up shop down here today and be able to come down here to Digzy Dogz.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think, what people don't realize is, and I've told this to other people, your guys' story as to how you started this business. And I think you guys are really the great example to people of, if you don't think you can make it in life, these people here are the great example of how you can make it. Take us through your story as to how Digzy Dogz was created and how you came up with the idea of starting this here.
All right. Well, and we just did it on a whim. We were lake bound with our kids. We went to Hudson Lake every day for the summer, and we were just trying to figure out how we can get food into the area.
Yeah.
And just feed people while we're at the lake. And so we just sat back and got this little 72 Nomad camper and gutted it out and put a kitchen in it. And we went from there, and we didn't realize it was going to take off like this. So, I mean, it's taken off, and we're doing pretty good right now.
I would say so. You got a few folks coming up here to order some food.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
But when you look at this, when you guys first started it, realistically, you threw a lot into the fire to try to get this thing going. Was it one of those where you just sat back and said, "Boy, I hope this works"?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, we had no idea how it was going to go. There was always a restaurant down in this corner as kids growing up. And we just kind of looked at it like, hey, maybe it will take off. And we just did it. And we've done a good job so far, I guess.
You talk about businesses, and then they say any good business, the key is location. And you guys are probably in one of the best spots you could ask for, because we've had the South Shore trains go by here, and I've seen people get off. I saw one guy get off here. I thought he was going to come up and order food there, but he got off the train. He was coming here. But where you guys are at location-wise, especially for people that live out here in the summertime, this is probably the best spot you could possibly be in. You couldn't ask for any more.
Absolutely. A lot of everybody coming from Chicago, getting on and off the South Shore, people coming over to the RV park across the street. It's just lots of traffic.
Well, let's talk about some of the food items here. Obviously, we always promote your Chicago dog.
Oh, yes.
As one of the key things. For those that don't know, what is a Chicago dog?
A Chicago dog is an all-beef hot dog with mustard, onion, tomato, relish, a dash of celery, salt with sport peppers, and a pickle.
Where's the ketchup?
No ketchup.
Oh.
You're fired, buddy. You're fired. You can never put a ketchup on a Chicago dog.
You've been hearing those commercials too much on radio about the ketchup on the hot dog, but
yes.
You've got a lot of other things here. You got some burgers that are all really good, and a whole variety of food here.
Oh yes, and we shop local. We go to Buchanan for all our meat, and that's the best. We will never chintz out on our meat.
Right.
GFS for all our other food items, but we just we do it all fresh.
Yes.
And it's been working.
Well, speaking of working, let's talk about the success you've had with the new plant, the new Amazon plant that you are feeding all the guys there. How did that come about?
Well, we actually had a few they were customers. They were from Amazon, and they're like, "Man, we got to get you out there. We got to get you out there." And honestly, he just said, "Come on out," and we did it, and they just ate it up. So it's been going very well out there as well.
And you're there every day for lunch?
Every day for lunch,
wow.
Monday through Friday.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. going very, very well.
So how many people do you have employed here at the Digzy Dogz?
I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, about five people.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you and Jason have any restaurant experience before you took this job?
Actually, I did. I was employed at Black Cat Lanes in New Carlisle, and
Okay.
I just growing up, I loved working there, and I just decided, hey, maybe I can give it a shot, and it went off.
Yeah, I think the shot went very, very well because you got a great thing going here. So when the season ends in October, then when you guys close up for the season, what do you guys do between October and then the following season?
We just run that truck. We'll run that truck all winter long, and obviously not on the coldest days, but
Right.
we run it all winter long.
At the Amazon plant.
Yep, at the Amazon plant.
Now I know when you first started, you were taking the truck on the different like festivals and stuff.
Yes, we did. We did lots of festivals until COVID hit, and then it was just a little bit harder to
Sure.
do those because everything went up in cost, and it just wasn't feasible to do it. I do miss it, but
Sure.
Yeah.
Why do you think your business as a local business has been as successful as it is? What do you think the key is?
Honestly, I don't know. Just good food, good customer service. Just I don't know. We try. I don't know. We do our best. We do our best to please everybody.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's really amazing how this is taken off and how you guys have made this what it is down here. And of course, I know talking to my friends who come down here before the game, they know that you listen every Friday night to our broadcast.
Yes, we do.
And they said they're ready for you down there at Digzy Dogz. They're ready.
Absolutely, we love hearing you guys.
Well, it's been a lot of fun having you hosting us here this afternoon, and we're glad that you've taken a few times out of the kitchen because I threatened her. I said, either you come out to interview with us or else I'm going to start making the food. Boy, I never saw her move that fast. I mean, she's like, I'll be right there.
Yes, we got to stay consistent.
Yeah, we can't put them out of business with me serving food. But Jen, thank you so much for having us here today. This has been like I say, it's been a real treat. And, for folks that live in the community, please come down and support them because supporting local is really the most important thing these days because local people keep the money locally. It's the big thing. And
we love our customers.
You do. I know. Well, they love you because they're here. And I tell this to people, you try to get a parking spot here on a Saturday afternoon in June or July, forget it.
Yes.
Because they're down here and then the kids ride their bikes down here and all that. So what are your hours so people want to come down that they know when they can come?
We are open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, and on Sundays it is noon to 6.
Okay. Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us here, and thank you for having us. And of course, you can hear them on the Digzy Dogz and Grill pregame show.
Yes, sir.
On August 21st with the special 1-hour edition beginning at 7:00 on broadcastsport.net. Jen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Yeah, we'll take
Okay.
We'll take a break and be right back for the schedule release.
All right.
Want a taste of Chicago? Well, bring it on down to Digzy Dogz and Grill with locations in Hudson Lake. Make sure to try their Chicago dog and their Italian beef, plus much, much more. Have a sweet tooth? Check out the large selection of ice cream products, including shakes and more. Digzy Dogz is located at 8310 700 North in Hudson Lake and is open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. That's Digzy Dogz and Grill.
May Oberfell-Lorber is dedicated to advising you on a broad range of legal matters focused on positive outcomes, finding quick and effective resolutions to your legal disputes, whether it's estate planning, real estate, personal injuries, business transactions, employment issues, or litigation. May Oberfell-Lorber. They're your neighbors, your friends, your local team with offices in Mishawaka and Southwest Michigan with over 150 years experience. May Oberfell-Lorber. Accessible, experienced, versatile. Visit maylorber.com.
Are you in need for a new door for your house or garage? The place to buy is Leitner Door of Elkhart. Leitner Door has been in business since 1979, specializing in sales, installation, and service of a variety of doors including overhead doors, electric operators, entry doors, fire doors, and more. Their service techs are trained to repair most makes and models of doors, operators, and hardware. They will help you every step of the way with a professional sales and service staff that will meet your every need. Like Leitner, a call at 574-295-6311. Like Leitner Door, we open all the right doors.
May Oberfell-Lorber is dedicated to advising you on a broad range of legal matters focused on positive outcomes, finding quick and effective resolutions to your legal disputes, whether it's estate planning, real estate, personal injuries, business transactions, employment issues, or litigation. May Oberfell-Lorber. They're your neighbors, your friends, your local team with offices in Mishawaka and Southwest Michigan with over 150 years experience. May Oberfell-Lorber. Accessible, experienced, versatile. Visit maylorber.com.
Need that lawn of yours mowed, maybe some bushes or hedges trimmed, or even the house or deck power washed? Then look no further than the pros at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care proudly serves Michiana and the surrounding area with great services including mowing, hedging, hedge trimming, weed whacking, power washing, and more. Coaches & Sons Lawn Care are the pros to go for all of your lawn and landscaping needs. For a free estimate, call today at 574-222-3586 and ask for Trevor. Remember, at Coaches & Sons Lawn Care, we are cutting grass and taking names. G Pools LLC is a family-owned and operated business since 2021. Our passion for pools goes beyond building them and maintaining them. We engage with each one of our clients to ensure that their pool and spa will be a great experience every time they dip into it. From design to pouring to maintenance, we are your authority for your pool and spa. G Pools is your one-stop pools and spa solution. The new Plymouth store is located across from Quick's Bowling Alley and next to Bailey's Furniture with the big red chair. For more information about G Pools, visit their website at gpoolsllc.com or visit them on Facebook. Next Level Performance Academy in Granger, developing highly skilled, adaptable athletes, is not just a slogan but a promise. Next Level Performance Academy empowers high school and youth athletes through disciplined expert performance training and a focus on both physical excellence and mental resilience. Next Level Performance Academy offers batting cages, turf rental with 23-foot ceilings, hit tracks technology for all levels of baseball and softball. To become your best, make sure you check out Next Level Performance Academy to be the best player you can be. For more information, check out their website at nextlevelperformanceacademy.us.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
Hello, I'm Dr. Karch, and I want to invite you to stop by my office on Cleveland Road in South Bend, just east of Portage Avenue. I've been serving Michiana for over 20 years, specializing in back pain, neck pain, headaches, naturally with gentle chiropractic care. Come see me for a free consultation.
Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center. When your body needs somebody to help.
We're back at 574 Sports Report. And before we release our schedule, Kenny, we'll let you talk about the New Prairie schedule.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. You look at that schedule. We had a little bit of an opportunity to talk with Ryan O'Shea about the Cougars, and you look at that schedule, and that's a pretty interesting gauntlet that the Cougars run up against in the first 3 weeks. Obviously, the milk can game with LaPorte, and that's going to be an interesting game. To see how both teams have progressed from last year. Issues that are going on with LaPorte right now. Reed Raymond is recovering from an ACL injury he suffered last winter during basketball season. We don't know yet what his status is going to be for the opening game. But that one, of course, is going to be a standing room only at AMC Miller Field. They'll be about 2 or 3 deep along the fence. And it's one of those games, guys, where it's really evolved into a game where, there was a time when this game was played where a lot of people in the New Prairie community judged the entire season on that game. That's not the case anymore. It's now a game that really is a great opener. It brings 2 communities together. It's standing room only, no matter where it's held at. And the energy and the motivation in the offseason is really big for that game. And it will be interesting to see if New Prairie's able to find a way to control LaPorte's running game. They got to make it 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7. They got to put pressure on LaPorte to have to make plays in the passing game. And if New Prairie's able to do that, and they're able to get some things going offensively, they have an opportunity in that game. It's not going to be easy, but they've got an opportunity if they're able to contain the LaPorte running game and force the Slicers to have to throw the ball. And it's a big game for LaPorte too, because that Duneland schedule is a meat grinder. Mm-hmm. And you look at what they got after week 1, they got Lowell week 2 at Kiwanis Field, and that's not going to be easy either. So that's a big game for both teams to get them off to a good start. And then New Prairie then goes on the road to Jim Andrews Field, where they've only won once in their history, and take on a Northwood team who last year really took it to New Prairie pretty hard at AMZ Miller Field. And going to be another tough test for this New Prairie team. Give them a chance to see, okay, were the strides made from week 1 to week 2? Have you gotten better in that?
That's why I asked Ryan that question, because you always talk about how much have you improved from week 1 to week 2, because week 1 there's a lot of unknown. Okay, you had two weeks of controlled practice, and you have a controlled scrimmage, and so when you go live on that week 1, okay, you see what your deficiencies are, you see what you're good at, you make that adjustment. Hopefully those deficiencies are corrected, and we heard that from Troy Hudson as well. Okay, we know what we've got, but how do we execute that on Friday night? And New Prairie's got that schedule with LaPorte, with Northwood, and St. Joe. What a way to get out of the gate!
And St. Joe's going to be a team. I think that could be, when you look at the NIC. I think they're the second best team right now in the NIC. Penn is still the top dog, but I think Ben Downey and St. Joe, they're going to be a real force to reckon with in the NIC, and that's going to be a real tough game on Labor Day weekend at AMZ Miller Field. But the thing is, I think for New Prairie fans is, this is still a relatively young team still. And there's still some growing pains, and there's going to have to be still some patience in allowing Ryan O'Shea to build his program. And here's the thing I tell people about Ryan O'Shea. He comes from a pedigree of tremendous football mindset with his father and his grandfather. I mean, they know the game of football probably as good as any family in Indiana. New Prairie's going to be fine. It may take a little while, but they're going to be fine. Give Ryan O'Shea the opportunity to build this, and it will be the benefit in the long term. Now, after they get by week 3, then they get to a part of the schedule where there's some games on there that are manageable. I mean, week 4, they go to School Field and they play South Bend Adams, and that was one of those games last year where I think New Prairie had an opportunity to win it at the end. They weren't able to get it done, and I know that's one that's going to be on the calendar for New Prairie. And then the next week they go to Elkhart, and the athleticism that Elkhart brings might be a really, really big challenge for this New Prairie defense in terms of trying to handle what they bring. Then they come back home on week 6, and they play a South Bend Riley team who they were able to beat last year in one heck of a ball game over at Jackson Field. They rallied from double digits down, got a big kickoff return right before the half that kind of set them up for a score. Then they got another score right after the half, and they were able to get some momentum and able to hang on and win that one. And then on week 7, they go over to Atulski Field to take on a Marion team that I think is one that, I look at them and I'm going, okay, new coach, new system, a lot of excitement over there. That's another one that I think could be a potential challenge for them. They were able to escape last year against Marion, but going over to Atulski Field, that could be a real challenge. And then week 8, they come back on senior night and they take on the Penn Kingsmen. And Penn is, Penn's got things rolling over there again. And I think the days of people who weren't in the know, that didn't think that New Prairie could compete with Penn, I think now realize that there will be years where New Prairie will be able to compete with Penn. And I think that's the level where Ryan O'Shea is trying to get this New Prairie program to, and he's hoping eventually that he can get to that level where they can compete with Penn on an almost yearly basis. But it's going to take a while for that. And then, of course, week 9, they go back to School Field and end things with Jay Johnson's South Bend Washington Ball Club. And Jay tried to get things going over there on the west side. But you look at this schedule, guys. I mean, the first 3 games right out of the gate, if New Prairie could get one of those 3, if they could somehow win one of those 3, that's a big boost for the confidence of the kids. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but if they can get one of those 3, then you look at the rest of the schedule, and 5 wins is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I think so. If you go 5-4, that's a great improvement. Then you take your chances and roll the dice in that sectional that they're in, and that's always a tough sectional. You've got a Hobart team in there.
Right? Well, no.
That's right. They moved, didn't they?
They're with Northridge, Northwood, Mishawaka.
Oh, that's right.
St. Joe,
Oh, boy. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what was interesting, and I took away from Ryan O'Shea today, was the fact that we got to get better. We just need to be better. We're not going to win a state title in year 2. We're not doing that. We're probably not going to win a conference title. And like he said, his grandfather and his dad, who are legendary coaches in this state, has said it takes 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So New Prairie fans, give them a chance. Relax, breathe. It's okay. They're going to get better. And as long as you see constant improvement over the next couple of years, by the time we get to year 4 and time we get to year 5, then you start worrying if they don't succeed.
The best thing I think that he did for the program, when we talked to him, the best thing that he did for the program was getting the Rocket League and all the youth football programs on the New Prairie campus. And it's no knock to having it here in town, but the fact that he has direct contact with these coaches working at the lower levels, he can help them with some things. He could show them some, not run the New Prairie office, but just show them basic fundamentals in terms of football. And having a hands-on approach, starting with the flag football, that's only going to benefit him. And let's remember something, guys. He won at Lakeland. And no disrespect to Lakeland, but there is not a lot of football talent in LaGrange County. And he won there. So he has proven he can win. He's proven he can have success. Exactly. So it's going to take a few years, but I with the guys that he's got on his staff and the excitement that they have, I think they're going to be all right.
I do too. It should be a great year. We'll have every New Prairie football game for you, home and away, on broadcastsport.net, our sister station, if you will. So we will have those. Kenny and Pat and Drew and I will be joining you week 3. Yes. And we'll also be joining you week 8.
Yes, and we will have a special guest, which we're going to keep as a very guarded secret right now, because we don't want to release that name until right before the game. But we have a very highly respected sports director that will be joining me that night, who some of the folks in the community might know him. So we'll kind of tease it at that until August 21st.
We will do that. And speaking of releases, it is time for our broadcastsport.net football schedule releases. These will be games that Drew and I will be doing each and every Friday night. So we'll get that up there. We have we can show you the first 7 games on the graphic. And we'll tell you about the last 2.
Unfortunately, the graphic is just too big, and I couldn't adjust it quite enough for the podcast. But that is our first 7 games. We've kind of talked about here and there, but we're starting August 21st. We'll have Cherubusco at Bremen. That'll be an interesting game to see what Bremen looks like, coming off losing Wildauer, losing Parrish. Second game we've talked about a lot. We will have Logansport at Adams.
And I do want to thank our Logansport businesses who have jumped on board in recent years, and several of them have jumped on board once again. I want to thank them. Rescue Meds, Class of 62, the good folks at Creative Promotions, to name a few of them. We didn't get y'all, we're sorry, but thanks to the Logansport businesses, we will have the Logansport Adams game at School Field on August 28th, so hope you can join us for that. And then obviously, Drew, you can go down and read the rest of our top 7.
We'll have the 3-man crew of St. Joe at New Prairie. The 3 of us will be there because Pat will be in Texas. Week 4, we will have Jimtown at John Glenn. You'll have to find someone to help because I will be at my cousin's wedding, and I'll be getting married that Saturday.
And I will tell.
That's a poor excuse, but okay.
Yeah. you think your uncle's turning 90 or something? No, but guys, I'm going to tell you, I've driven by the facilities at Glenn. You're going to love what Eric Stevens and them have done down there.
You're going to love it.
It looks.
Well, we're going back there again later, so hopefully you'll be able to join us on that one other one.
No, I won't. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's right. You won't be.
You're going to love it.
The facility upgrades that they've done with the football at Glenn is really, really cool. So it's a credit to them. And there's a lot of
we've got some Walkerton businesses who've stepped on board, including our friends at Everrise Credit Union, Bourbon Street Pizza, and G Pool so far. So we want to thank them as well for their sponsorship. So we'll have those two. A lot of INSC games on here, and that's okay.
After that, we have Bremen at Jimtown. I will be available for that game.
Just don't get stuck by a train.
Yeah. Then we have Bremen at John Glenn. So we kind of scheduled that 3-week span.
Yeah.
We can see we see Jimtown, John Glenn, then we see Bremen, Jimtown, then we see Bremen, John Glenn. So we see all 3 teams multiple times in that 3-week span. We follow that up with Adams at Washington. That'll be an interesting game. Adams, we think, is
that could be for the city title because they built that up now with only 3 high schools in the South Bend. Right. They play each other, and the winner gets a little trophy that says city champions. That could be for the South Bend City Championship that night.
Yeah.
Then the final 2 games that are unable to be shown, we have Penn at New Prairie. That's when we have a 4-man crew.
Right.
I wonder who's going to be on the sideline.
That'll be you.
Yeah, ain't going to be me.
No, ain't going to be me either. I got to run.
You can call the game from the sidelines. It'll be fine.
No.
And then our final game of the year is going to be the final game that we had last year. St. Joe travels to Penn. Last year was for the conference. This year is going to be interesting. I think you say St. Joe. I think Elkhart is going to be right in the mix for that. And they play. Elkhart plays both St. Joe and Penn back to back. I want to say September 18th and 25th. Okay. So.
Well, and here's something else we can also announce about that Week 9 game is that we're going to be the only ones with video. We have exclusive video rights to that game. So
that's correct.
So
and I was talking to Brian Whitten when you guys were talking. I was talking to him off air, and they're really excited about that. And Pete Reardon's excited about the fact that we're going to be there and doing that, even though they have other people who do some things. But yeah, we will be the only ones doing video that night. So I want to thank Jeff Hart and Bridget Williams, the athletic director and assistant athletic director. And that's going to be a great lead-in for our winter sports coverage, which is going to close our 18th year, believe it or not, of Penn girls basketball.
Wow.
Yeah. And we were talking about it on the way over. We are going to have the 3-conference preview of both boys and girls basketball like we did for football. This podcast is going to run throughout football, throughout basketball, throughout baseball, and all that. It is. We think it's going to stay on Wednesdays. We think this went really well. Please let us know what you thought of the live podcast. We want to try and continue doing it. If you have comments, you want to chime in, we want to hear from you.
Right.
But we think we'll incorporate both live and recorded podcasts throughout the year, releasing on Wednesdays. But we're excited for football season. Again, this is our schedule, and Kenny, now that you're able to see it, fully, we got a lot of range, but we got a lot of INSC as well.
You got a lot of really good good football on there. I mean, I'm looking at that schedule, and that's a really good schedule. I'm very intrigued, guys, about what Glenn's going to be like this year. If Troy can start to lay the foundation, because you're seeing the stuff on social media where he's really making a concerted effort to build that thing from the ground up down there in terms of the feeder system. And that's really, if you really want to know, the bottom line is you got to be willing as a head coach to start the programs at the lower levels. Because if you're able to build a program from the elementary levels on up and get people excited about your product, it's going to pay off in the long run. And you know this, Drew, for being a Jimtown guy. I know this as a New Prairie guy, that when you have a feeder system and you have that built up and kids know what the expectations are, that success should eventually translate into your football program.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about it, and Brian Whitten talked about it. You were talking to him while me and Kenny were talking about it, but the amount of good football teams, not just great or excellent, good football teams, has exponentially grown in northern Indiana. It's not just 465 and in that area that is the main hub of football in Indiana. We're seeing northern Indiana, southern Indiana. It is expanding to statewide, and we're a basketball state, but we're sneakily becoming football as well.
Yeah, I agree with the basketball, but I think each year we're making more strides in football in the state. And,
and now we have girls flag football.
Right. And that was actually one of the things I was talking about, Brian Whitten. There is now some interest from Penn High School having us come and do some of those girls flag football games this fall, because that is now a sanctioned sport.
Has it been officially approved?
Over 100 schools are now participating.
So now
approved.
Last year it was kind of a whatever I forget what the term they use.
It's like a trial run kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a trial run, and they've got enough. They have to have so many member schools participate to make it a sanctioned sport, but they have enough, and they'll have another year. And Penn's going to be good, as New Prairie is going to be good. So obviously, Brian Whitten was talking to me a little bit about the possibility of having us broadcast some flag football this fall.
Hey, I wouldn't mind doing New Prairie flag football. We just got to get the sponsorship for it too.
Exactly. So if you are interested in that, reach out to Kenny or me about New Prairie, or you can reach out to me about Penn. We might work on the schedule and see if we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
we'll
something
get
to consider.
Heather on it.
something to
There you
consider. Yeah, something to possibly consider for 2027 when it really becomes part of the IHSA series.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of good football, both in flag football is really starting to take off now in this state.
I mean, it's
which really shows you the growth that we've had from the boys football.
Not just in the state, but the entire country now. It is just nuts.
Well, and I think
what's
what's helping. Yeah, I think what's helping
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Is going to be an Olympic event.
And I think that's what's going to happen. In fact, since we're hosting the Olympics in 28 and we get to choose a sport, we choose flag football. And I think that has really now gotten the interest. Oh, I can play flag football. Maybe I can make a U.S. national team and play flag football in L.A.
And I'm gonna tell you something. The interest in flag football, especially out here, it's unbelievable. I mean, that first year when they played last year, I went to one of the games, and it's just like wow. And I'm assuming at some point it's going to be split into divisions in terms of flag football eventually. But once New Prairie, I think, gets into a division of their school size, they're going to be a force to reckon with in terms of making runs for state titles. The way Sean Toole's got that program headed, and the enthusiasm and what she has done for flag football out here more than anybody to really get girls excited about flag football, it's off the chart. And we're hoping we can have her on at some point this year.
Yeah, we'll get her on some point as a guest here. And,
on our halftime show.
On your halftime show. We will. And speaking of halftime shows, I'm not going to give it away, but we have a special guest in our halftime of the Logansport Adams game. He's got ties both to Logansport and to South Bend Adams. So we will tease you with that, and you'll find out at halftime of the Adams Logansport game in School Field on August 28th.
Yes.
What a day, huh?
Yeah,
what a great day this has been. I want to thank Jen and her great staff here at Digzy Dogz for having us out here today. Yep. I did sign a pad, so now they're going to have an autograph up there.
Is it Facebook official yet?
Not. I haven't seen it yet. We'll have to ask her. They got to go order some food here. We'll have to ask her if we put it on Facebook yet. Thanks to Coach Whitten. Thanks to Coach O'Shea. Thanks to Coach Hudson. And we want to thank all of our great sponsors as well. G-Pool, North Liberty, Next Level Performance Academy of Granger, Coaches and Sons Lawn Care, the Logansport High School Class of 62, May Oberfeld Lorber Attorneys at Law, Courage Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Barnaby's on Jefferson, Leck Leitner Door, and, of course, our great friends here at Digzy Dogz and Grill here in Hudson Lake. Make sure they're open until 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central tonight. Otherwise, they're open tomorrow. Come out and get some great food. Say hi to Jen. Tell you heard it here on the 574 Sports Report.
And, of course, the ice cream. I've had the Balts. Really good.
Well, wrestlers are going to sample now.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes.
I think this is successful.
I do, too. I think we want to thank our coaches who took time to came out, because obviously Saturday afternoon is usually family time for these guys. Right. Brian Whitten came all the way over from Granger. Of course, Coach O'Shea just is down the road. It wasn't that big of a deal for him. But thanks for him to come out. And, of course, Troy Hudson taking time out of his busy day. Logansport's got a family night, a parent meeting, and a scrimmage tonight. So they've got a lot going on in Logansport. And we all want to thank all of you who watched today. This has been successful. We'll have more of these. And, of course, Drew, we're going to do these on a weekly basis, previewing all the games on Friday night, including the games that we're broadcasting. So
I think this was a great day. We had beautiful weather. I'm ready for some Italian beef.
Okay.
I mean, but we want to thank everyone who logged in. Schedule's still on the screen. Tune in to broadcastsport.net. New Prairie will have each and every week. That's our weekly schedule.
That's on the St. Joe County game. That's on the St. Joe County game of the week.
Yep.
Podcast we're still going to release every week on Wednesday. We might not have one this Wednesday. I might just release this long live podcast Monday, because I don't know if we'll have anything to talk about, because
it's scrimmage week. Yeah,
it's scrimmage week. So look for our next podcast probably Wednesday, August 19th, 2 days before opening week. We can talk about the games coming up, the scrimmages and whatnot, but want to thank everyone for tuning in, logging on. Have a great rest of your day. Great weekend. And we'll see you next time on the 574 Sports Report.